my view, look after team cohesion first, and that's my number one priority, and I'll make sure that I stick by that, because I always believe it's the successful way to build team. And as long as it's communicated well to the others, they understand that the team will come first, and ultimately what it's doing is it's actually building our depth as well. And then when we come back into Super Rugby and our Japanese players and our international players return in January, then we obviously become another team, and we start again. So these players at the moment are the ones that have earned the jersey. They're putting in the graft. So I think it's important to reward them.
John, you feel as if you're that much more closer to finally getting that W next year?
I'm not really focused on outcome. At the end of the day, we're after that each week, and we'll be deserving of it at some point. So in some ways we were robbed on the weekend externally, and in some ways was our own doing as well. So we've got to learn from both situations and make sure that when we're in that situation again, that we finish off. So Cheetahs bring a different type of challenge to us, and it's away from home as well, so that requires a different mental focus as well. But yeah, the guys are, it's very important for them to bring closure in their own minds, because they've been working hard, but they understand they're going to have to earn it as well in order to deserve it.
If you take anything out of the Cheetahs lost, Griquas and the scoreline itself?
Yeah, again, I'm not really that big on focusing too much on the opposition. Definitely take a look at their trends and their patterns, but really in terms of the scoreboards that exist, I've probably got to go a little bit deeper than that in order to get a good understanding of what's an opportunity and what's a threat.
John, just coming back to Sunday, John Dobson a lot of praise for the way the Bulls played on Sunday, and he mentioned that it was very difficult to defend against the Bulls. And he also predicted that your team will be a different beast come next year, Super Rugby. Is it nice to get feedback like that?
Yeah, it's nice to Dobbo in the context of the way the game finished. And at the end of the day, they got there. I guess it's nice to see an experienced rugby man seeing probably the change that is starting to show. I think it's clear to everyone that our mindset and our approach is changing. We've still got limitations, and I know what those limitations are. And those limitations have been exposed in this Currie Cup as well, frequently. But it's not a quick fix. But in saying that, sometimes you've got to go through failure or the lack of delivery to actually understand. And there's some situations on the weekend that I think, in isolation alone, are probably catalysts to actually changing mindset in a couple of areas of our game.
John, I know we've asked you quite plenty about a guy like Warwick Holland, and you earlier on spoke about his development. Do you feel as if now he's becoming that player who fully appreciates in that the players around him being good, he becomes even a better player?
Oh, he's exceptionally gifted at taking football, and like he's learning defence as well, so that's becoming probably clearer to him, and less conscious, if that's the right word. And he can split anyone apart. He can turn seriously, if there's a space around a one-on-one, he's generally going to take it, and he can create 2-on-2 situations into 2-on-1s. There's not too many players in the world that can do that. He's just got to get the balance right, I think, in terms of being creative and serving others, and that's an area where we're both working together on trying to help him, because ultimately I think every time he gets the ball, the opposition will see him as a threat, and that will create clearly, obviously, very conscious defenders on him, but ultimately sometimes his teammates outside of him are actually in a better position than what he is. So I think it's just about him getting the balance in that area. But he's an exceptionally creative rugby player. Yeah, and it's great to see that he's able to express himself, and he certainly is inspirational to others. Perhaps he scored a little bit too early on the weekend. Perhaps he should have scored that at the end. He's also a wonderful young man to coach as well. He's infectious about the way he goes about his work. He's very professional. I just think there's exciting times for him if he continues on, continues his focus on getting better each day.
Would it be fair to compare him to David McKenzie?
They're quite different. I think Damien's got more of an arcing line and a straightening line, whereas with Warwick, I don't know what line he's going to run, to be fair. It's what's amazing for me is of a lot of the rugby players that I've been privileged to coach, and some of them quite special. There's a lot of outside centre in Warwick, and what I see a guy. There's not too many guys in the world that can turn you inside and out. And if the ball's in the air and he can and he can certainly lose a defender. So I think him and Lionel Mapu have actually got probably very similar running lines and speed qualities. Whereas Damien's probably got closer footwork and has got an exceptional arc as a fullback, and generally takes that arc. Whereas Warwick will certainly create an arc in a running line, but it's not necessarily the same line that he'll take once he's beaten the outside shoulder. If there's over tracking, he'll take your inside shoulder within a blink. But yeah, probably both of them are exceptional. Close to the defenders. Not too many that can do that. James O'Connor was another guy that was very good at the close step from memory. And I used to lose time and time again a number of milkshakes trying to defend him in the 5 metre channel. So so maybe I shouldn't take it. The warning there is don't take on Warwick. Because I'll lose a few more milkshakes.
John, on periodically in this campaign, quite a few of the youngsters and rookies have impressed, not necessarily consistently, but they have had their moments. A guy like JT Jackson had a very good all-round game last week. I mean, defended well and actually, I think, had 2 line breaks, a couple of runs. Are you encouraged by his progress and his development, specifically in that decision-making channel at 12?
Yeah, it's really good to see him coming on and playing with confidence. You can see that actually playing week after week, how that has actually allowed him to feel comfortable and safe and be able to try things without the fear of selection breathing down his neck. As I think I shared with you the other day in the chalk thing, that I'm very big on distributing 12s, and I'm mindful of that. Something like Berger now having lost Jan, is that he's not going to be able to go a full Super Rugby competition. So to have something like JT who's stepping up, getting Francois Brummer back as well, having Andre Pollard who can also play 12 as well. We're starting to create a number of permutations. Should we get injuries, and all of them are actually also kicking threats as well. Probably JT's got a little bit more to do in that area, but all those guys I talked about are actually triple threats with the ball, which is pleasing. To add to that, I think the 2 young locks, they will probably look like young men at the start of the competition. I think they're starting to really mature as players. They've got a long way to go physically, but I've really admired the way that they have mentally approached this competition. It's been tough for them as well, because they have had their poor performances as well, but they've been able to understand why that's been poor and been able to return and gain their confidence.
How far is a guy like Tim Magaba from sort of being the player that you want him to be at Currie Cup level, and in fact make the step up to Super Rugby as well?
Yeah, Timmy's a wonderful athlete, as you can see. I think some of the finer points of 15s is starting to challenge him, and maybe he's putting himself under a little bit of pressure as well of wanting to do well and prove a point. I just think he's just got to probably not worry about that and just relax, and hence the reason why I've given him another selection, because I just really want him to become comfortable in his performance. He probably just needs to tighten up his defence. He's probably over tracking a little bit, and probably needs to drop his height in the tackle. So Seven's defence is very much an up and out defence, or what you call a jockeying defence, whereas in 15's it's certainly not our system. So for him it's a big adjustment, but ultimately end of the day, just got to stick at it. He's very professional. He's extremely hungry to get better. We will lose him for a period of time for a couple of tournaments, but we will get him back for, I think, at least a month of Super Rugby pre-season, which will be really important for him.
John, what will be the ideal scenario for you Friday? Knowing that, yes, the result will be important for you guys, but you keep on speaking about that performance as well. What would for you be ideal? I know performance and probably win as well.
Yeah, I just want to see a non-fair defensive performance. I just want players to step up defensively and totally be centred collectively in our defence. And as I mentioned about it, it's been a limitation the whole year. And to me, there's a great future in the way that we defend, but at the moment we're probably still afraid to make errors. And ultimately, I think we as a club have to find a different meaning around attacking defence, because at the moment we still look like a side that fears to make a mistake in the tackle, and that's something that I'm wanting to eliminate, and I will eliminate as we move forward. So really, for me, in the last two performances of the season, I want to see improved collective defence.
Nothing else.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.